Hello, everyone. This is Everhard, and welcome to our show. I've got Deathsadvocate here. Hello.
Hello.
So it's been a couple of weeks since we had a show, right?
Has it been that
I
long?
think so. Yeah. It feels like that. Maybe it's just so good that it just feels like that. I don't know. But yeah, we got a good one today. We got like a classic, setup where we go into two of your decks this time, not one. We're going to two of them, and both Magmar. And they're pretty interesting. I mean, they look. One of them looks really, really powerful. The other one looks annoying. So let's get into let's get let's. My dad is yelling at me because it's 1 a.m. Isn't that fun? I'll just keep my volume a little bit lower. So we got um, we got this Stormhorn deck. I'm looking at it right now. Let's get into it.
Well, basically, it's an Apex deck, right? Evolutionary
Yeah,
Apex,
and
pretty cool card.
that's really
Grandmaster Kragon, two cards I was both a little skeptical of, but they're surprisingly effective. The whole trick to this deck is it's all about ramp. Not just ramping your minions, but ramping Apex as well. Like, we've got a couple, early game plays that are meh, but they help with the ramp plan. Starhorn keeps your hand topped off of fatties, and it intentionally runs mostly creatures rather than spells because you want creatures for Apex, and you don't want spells to conflict with Magesworn. And by the way, Magesworn is amazing for Magmar and can just auto win you against a lot of obnoxious matchups like
right.
Vantar and
Oh my God.
Songhai and Cassiva. But there's not too much more to it. It's just, it's got all the Magmar staples and
Well,
ramp,
it
both
is
creature ramp
really
and spell ramp, and then all the fatties.
it's really cool because I mean Apex looks amazing, but we haven't actually seen it in use. I heard I kind of can theorize why. Like I heard people using Apex and then just dying in the next turn. You heard these stories?
The problem with it is, while the deck is very powerful, you never know when you're going to come up against an Abyssian player, play Apex, and then,
Right,
oh god, three Revenants.
right.
And also, the other problem is dear god, it's an expensive deck with a bunch of cards that will never be used anywhere but here.
Right, yeah, that sounds true. Though I do kind of want to use Kragon, maybe with
Kragon is a great one of. This is
yeah,
the only deck that is going to run three of him.
right. I do wanna come up with more uses for Kragon though. Like yeah, you can flash him, so that's good. And
Of course. I mean, that he's a great one of
okay,
in a lot of Magmar decks.
okay. So yeah, but here really with all the creatures, it really does seem promising and good. I do want to mention in passing that I talked to you about it. I really want to make an Apex replace deck, and then when you Apex, like a lot of replace minions come down, and you get value instantly. So
I'm skeptical on that. Like, you're better off just playing traditional ramp and doing it that way.
well, I don't know.
So the other problem is, like, it's a little counterproductive because if you Apex, you may not even have a card left in your hand to replace, unless you're playing a fair amount of spells, and then you're sort of defeating the purpose of Apex.
I guess so. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense. We shall see, though. I'll find a way, man. Okay, so let's see the game. Well, we handpicked a game for this. So I'm looking at the cards now. We see the. Okay, so let's. I'll count to three, and you'll take it off.
All
Three,
right.
3, 2, 1.
So my starting hand here, I like what I see. I'm
Yeah.
seeing a really fast Apex. Just double Abjugator. And while I don't have any cool fatties like Juggernaut or, of course, Grandmaster right now, that's okay. Because Magesworn can pretty much win a game by itself versus Cassiva a lot of the time. And, I've still got a couple turns here to replace and dig for some fatties. But even if I just get out Mage Sworn, that's fine by me. But, oh, and there's the Kragon that
Oh
I've been
man.
digging for. And now, this is silly, I'm like, you know what? I don't even care that Kajuta is going to kill these abjugators. I want to play Apex now. And I also just threw it on the globe. Well, I needed the globe for the second one, and denial is always good. I went ahead and just...
This isn't gonna be a long game, huh?
No. No. But yeah, killed off the Kajuta to get rid of one of those oozes and try to limit the amount of creep spread. No, that's going to matter now that I've got a 5-mana Apex in hand with Mage Sword and Grandmasters.
Yeah.
Good times. Right, and that's the reason to play Starhorn, because you can dump your hand a little bit like that, but you want to be able to dig both for Apex and for fatties, just like it did. Rangebinder's, he's always a good card. He goes along with our basic golem package. But the other cool thing is Bond, unlike opening Gambits, does work with Evolutionary Apex.
Yeah.
So you can just get 9 points of healing if you have 3 Rangebinders in hand when you play Apex.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It works with Replicate,
Oh.
too.
And also, people were a little worried about, the Apex Phantasm thing, but not to worry. He has no creatures in his hand when Apex goes off to be buffed by Phantasm. So ironically, it's sort of a counter to Phantasm. But yeah, I'm moving in because I want to get that frenzy off of Kragan, and just, dear God, look at that nonsense. Look at that field.
Oh my
There's
God.
nothing he can do. Especially with the Mage Sword back there in the back. Now he
Hold
can't
on,
even punish.
you're now playing the Apex, so I'm looking at it. Holy fucking Christ, Jesus, oh my fucking God.
Look at that value. It's just
Value.
the 5-mana turn. Poor Season 1 Easy is just like, what the shit? What is this? But, he gets me down pretty low, but he's Kasaba. He doesn't have a single removal card in his deck that can kill that Mage Sworn. So and he couldn't play any of his burn cards, and then the Grandmaster Kraken Grow kicks off, making me just unkillable. And he's like, nope, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. He doesn't even wait for you to
here.
move. Doesn't give you one turn. Oh my God. I think you can't even use the word value to describe that. It's just like it's like like a buffer override, for that word,
I call the decks Predator, because Apex Predator. Yeah, I think
I don't know
clever.
what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. What's Apex? Okay, I don't know what you mean.
Apex Predator? Oh, well, never mind then.
What is that Apex Predator?
Apex Predator is a predator at the top of the food chain.
Ah, okay. Cool. Okay, nice. Okay, so we're gonna go to the second deck. That was fucking entertainment, man. That's entertainment.
Yeah, if nothing else, the deck is fun.
Yeah, for real.
It's really competitive, but it'll never be a top tier deck because there's just always that chance that your opponent might get a better field than you. It's very unlikely, but it's possible.
Well, I mean, a highly competitive deck doesn't have to be like 100%. I mean, you wouldn't take this to a tournament.
Probably, well, maybe. I don't know. It depends. I'd have to play it a bit more because I did some testing with it, and I had some games were good, some games were not.
Right. Okay.
I've been outvalued by Lionar of all things. They got a bunch of provoke minions that I couldn't deal with, and then I got divine bonded and it sucked.
They do. They do. They are known for their value minions.
Of course, revenants are a problem.
Yeah.
But and then there's always the mirror match, and that's a little weird.
All right, so that was that. Meanwhile, I want to say something to our dear viewers. An announcement. I made S rank. I'm an S rank player now.
You're no longer a complete scrub.
I'm not a fucking complete scrub. And it's really embarrassing that I made S rank just now because I started playing in December last year. So, so I
Jeez,
don't
I
know.
was S rank like my second season. I was
Oh God.
gold my first season. I only had 1 day to play.
Excuse me. How many years have you been playing Magic the Gathering?
Magic the Gathering. Oh, I mean, like since it well over a decade. Why?
Okay, good. So that's some experience for you with these types of games, right?
Oh yeah, and then I played Pox Nora before this,
Yeah. All right.
and
Cool.
it's very similar, but oh god, it's awful. I love it.
Yeah,
Well, I used
it
to
looks
love it,
so
but it's
janky,
awful.
like just
It's
thousands
awful.
of different minions and
Like it's huge, it's
yeah.
buggy, it's poorly balanced, and dear God, you have to pay like $500 to get even a remotely competitive deck.
Oh God.
It's awful. I'm sorry. Not to mention it's changed. Let's stop talking about Fox Nora.
So, but
Focus on
it's
this.
better than Duelist. That's what you're saying, though.
Well, okay. It was better than Duelist back when we had aggro Riva dominance. Those were dark times.
I don't think I've heard of that period. Actually, I've heard of a
Those were
lot of
dark
things.
times. I will never forgive Songhai. Ever. Well, I also just dislike Songhai in general because they cheat.
They are
They don't play Duelist. They play red deck wins, out of hand, uncounterable, unlimited range,
yeah
burn. There's nothing you can do
it's
about it. But that's uh, they're balanced. They're a balanced faction. Like they're fine. They're cool. They've got great flavor. They just don't play Duelist, and it bugs me.
yeah
And
it's
I will
annoying. It's annoying.
never be salty about Reba dominance. But
It's
anyways, let's get back to Magmar and what we're actually
it's
doing here.
annoying, but I also want to say that it's kind of cool. Kind a little bit cool that there's
Oh, I love their flavor. Like I like red decks and Magic the Gathering, and that they're a neat faction. I love combos. I just uh,
yeah. Okay, so yeah, so let's so second deck. We've got. I'm looking at it now. We've got Voth and we've got Matesworn. I want to say first that I did see Matesworn in Voth. I've seen Riveth, the developer, play around with it. He played against me with Matesworn and he kicked my
really,
ass.
I thought I was the first to do it. Oh well, I mean, I may have, but I'm only just now getting around to saying anything about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, nah, it's so good. Like it just auto wins against some of the most annoying decks in this meta. I mean, and then you just don't play it versus the others. Just replace it.
right. Okay. Yeah, like Vanner can't fucking fox it. So what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
no,
You're gonna fight it? You don't even use minions
you
half the
don't
time.
fight it. You put it in the back row, so they don't even get that opportunity. You don't want
Yeah.
them to, like, light bender it or something.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the meta Vanar decks have no way to answer it, and I love what it does to Ghost Seraphim. It's hilarious. Ghost Seraphim's effect reads, "You can't cast spells."
Oh man, I got that now. Oh, that's cool.
It's hilarious.
Oh man, no Spirit of the Wild combo for you.
No, I have seen several Vanar players drop down Seraphim and then start trying to play spells out of their hands, and then they realize what they've done, and they're
Oh
like,
my god,
"Oh God!"
that is amazing. All right, so okay, so let's get into this deck a little, and then we'll watch the game.
Well, okay, so other than Mage Sworn, like we've got your standard, your basic Golem package with ramp. You've got great healing. You've got great removal. You've got great AOE. I've recently started teching Pony because it's just a really good card that gives you a solid answer to Mechazor, which you would otherwise lack. And then, of course, we've got the Drogon combo. It's an incredibly powerful deck that is the bad matchup for a lot of decks, and it doesn't have a bad matchup itself. So it's definitely a top tier deck. The only problem with it is it's a very reactive deck. Like you don't really supply many of your own threats other than Vath himself. Like Drogon sits in your hand until you're ready to, do a massive burst, and all your stuff is reactive for the most part. But, other than like Krygon and Lava Slasher, but even Lava Slasher is a bit
It's
reactive.
reactive, yeah. Then again, putting
So,
down a tempo lava slasher isn't
yeah,
the worst thing in the
yeah.
world.
The turn two Lava Slashers, which we can do with either Kujata, Metallurgist, or Flash, are pretty devastating.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
But that is the only problem with the deck. Is it's a very reactive deck, which can be very tough to play, and but it's incredibly powerful. It's got an answer for everything. The only times you'll struggle is when you can't find the right answer. But it's got so much healing. It shuts down aggro. Mage Sworn auto wins against what might be bad matchups. I love it. It's so well rounded.
yeah, it does. It does look like it's ready for anything. Yeah. By the way, I pronounce it Kuhada.
Who? What?
I'm saying I'm pronouncing it Kuhada, not Kujada.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mm. Okay.
I think that's the right pronunciation. Anyway, so let's get into.
Excuse my crap match history right now. I've been playing all kinds of weird stuff and testing out decks.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. That's why. I
I
mean
can
that.
get to top 10 when I'm trying to.
I mean
And
that's
then
my.
I go and start playing, Apex Starhorde. And initially the deck was really bad.
Right.
And I just play a whole bunch of weird crap trying to come up with new things.
I mean that's my excuse basically for only making S 10 months into the game. I always do memes, you know. Okay,
I
so
mean, I just get to S rank like the day the season opens, and then I usually screw around.
Jesus, man, you got a nice job, man. I wish I wish I could play at work. Okay, so what is no tips for aggro? I faced him today with my aggro.
Not it's the game versus Nova 122.
No, I know. I'm just seeing him on the list. It's funny because I met him today with aggro vet.
Why would you do this? Why
Because
would you
aggro
do?
vet is super strong. It's like you're
I
saying.
know it's
Oh
strong.
my
But
God, it's fucking.
aggro is gross. Aggro is gross.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just so. You gotta play the game, man. You know. Uh, okay, so against who? Nova. No,
Nova 122.
there we go.
Opening hand should be Lava Lasher, Plasma Storm, Metallurgist, Mage Sworn, and Paragon.
Let's see. Yep. All right. Counting you off. 3, 2, 1, go.
So right away, you're seeing the Metallurgist into Lava Lasher, giving you that beautiful turn two Lava Lasher. And
Right.
then also, I'm digging for a flash right now because Mage Thorn can win games by itself versus Fae.
Yeah.
It,
Fucking
it can
gravity
just
wells, Faye.
roll over and die. But Nova is an exceptionally good player, and this was a really incredible game.
Really? Okay, I'm ready.
I can't believe the craziness that goes on in this game.
Really?
But
Okay.
so he opens with the gravity well. I'm just pulling out golems, getting ready for lava lashers, developing a little bit of a board, and I'm hoping to get that early mage swarm. But even if I can't, lava lashers got my back.
Yeah. They're called lava slashers, by the way.
It's too late.
Yeah, you've said it like 5 times already.
It's too late. I'm always going to call it lasher now.
Hey, one metallurgist is gone. That's a bit sad.
It don't matter. Only needed one for that.
Right.
Fabled turn 2 lava lasher.
Right.
And Plasma Storm's also just good against Wall Vanar. It can be a little awkward though sometimes, when you're surrounded by the charge walls.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of damage, but usually you can break your way out and then roll
Yeah.
them up.
By the way, now remembering you told me to watch this game because it's awesome, and holy shit, yeah, it is awesome. I remember it now.
But so yeah, he's sort of like he's not really an Arcanist deck, I don't think. He's just he's playing Blue Conjurer just because it's a
A draw.
powerful card, and he's playing mostly a ramp wall deck with a splash of Arcanist for card advantage instead of dedicated. At least that was my best guess, from initially looking at it. It could be dedicated Arcanist, but usually they start doing Arcanist things already.
Yeah. And you got
For now,
he only got one proc of that blue
yeah,
conjurer.
I'm making sure that thing doesn't get any more value than it already has. I'm of course playing around phase BBS and denying that top mana globe.
Very good.
I don't want it, but I don't want him to have it either. Sentinel. It's almost always the spell Sentinel because it's
don't play plasma.
hands down the best one.
That wouldn't kill it.
No, plasma does kill it.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, that's interesting. I was sure it doesn't. Well,
nope, it does. It definitely does. But anyways, I don't even care about Sentinel. I'm putting down Magesworn because that now what's he gonna do? Now he can't drop a Ghost Seraphim. Now he can't remove my Lava Lashers. He can't just go Thunderhorn Shimzar.
Oh my
and
God,
he's
wow.
just like, oh God, what do I do? I can't even BBS, and I'm at 3 attack. That's all I need. Now I can outvalue anything he can put on the board.
Right.
I don't need more of my BBS, but Faye is sort of crippled without it. So, he is down on health, I'm up on health. I do have to deal with this Seraphim just because it's annoying and in my way.
I love that in the opportune moment you can plasma and get rid of your Magesworn.
Yeah. If you really need to, you can. I've never done that because anytime I'm playing Magesworn, I want him to sit there forever.
Right.
But if the situation ever arose, say I put down a Drogon and then he survives because they couldn't
Fox it.
Then I could, plasma my Magesworn and, do a Drogon combo.
Exactly.
There is the situation where it could come up. Or right here. That's a lot of walls. Do I value my Magesworn more or not? I decided no. I'm way too low on health.
And Winter's Wake is more than 2 mana, so.
Yeah, exactly. So Winter's Wake was a huge concern. So I'm like, you know what? Goodbye, Magesworn.
Yeah.
You have forced my hand, Vanar player. Good job.
Yeah.
Now I'm backing off because I'm scared for my health. I'm scared now. I'm digging for healing. I've got a lot of it. I need to find it. And I'm also just, now I'm trying to power up to get ready for, a Drogon finisher. But, yeah, it's just dropping more and more value.
It does look in this point like he's getting the upper hand. And Luminous Charge, too.
Now here, I'm not sure if he screwed up or was just he didn't want me running away. But he didn't lock me in, which was a little bit of a mistake. Given if he had locked me in, I could have just hit it with my Lava Lasher, so it didn't make a real big difference. So I think he just wanted to, cut off my escape more than anything.
Right.
So I don't know if he screwed that up or if it was intentional, but either way, I punished him for that play really hard. I think that turn right there was the deciding factor of this game. But yeah, right there.
Yep, Plasma Natural. That's really good.
Oh, yeah. And, now he's in lethal range of Drogon.
Yep.
But nope. I don't know if he top decked it or if he was holding on to it. And I'm just like, oh my god, how is he? Like, usually Vander just rolls over and dies when Mage Sword hits, but he just he replaced well, he played well, he backed off when he needed to, got aggressive again when he needed to, and so I know there's a possibility he has Winter's Wake, so I need to keep this as clear as possible.
Right. Luckily, you got Magantor.
Oh yeah, the answer to everything. Cantor Jesus. And yeah, I just put the Kujata down because I needed to be threatening lethal here. Like, I was hoping he couldn't deal with both Macantor and Kujata, but at the very least he managed to lock himself off, and I'm just back, and it's just so back and forth. That is the last thing I want to see in my hand, but at least I can just back off. Although now I'm starting to worry about Warbird lethal, but there's a lot of healing in this deck, and there's a lot of ways I could win the game still, so I just need to bide my time, but I can't bide my time for more than one turn here, so there's a bit of a problem. It's just nail-biting action right. Oh, but there's that Earth Sphere. All right, now, assuming he doesn't have yet another
the report
cold,
is a little wonky, so you were talking about the last thing you want to see meant the Flash, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you got the friggin' Earth Sphere to save you. Goddamn, thank God.
Just in time.
Yeah.
Of course, if I'd drawn anything other than that Flash, I might have been able to win last turn. So,
yeah.
As lucky as the Earth Sphere was, it wasn't any more unlucky than drawing that Flash was. Especially because I've already used, I think, at least one Flash this game. But now I had to decide. At this point, he's got a better field than me. I've got one card in hand. I need to power up Vath and focus on surviving now. Like, I couldn't afford getting hit by both of those minions.
Yeah.
And his BBS.
Yeah, that would be
that would have been game. So I just had no choice but to back off here. But I've got answers in my hand to stuff he can do.
There's a Plasma Natural again.
Yep. It was awful because plasmaing for one card feels really bad, but it was the right decision. Like, he's only got 2 cards in hand, and there's a lot of stuff I can draw that can help me out right now. I just need to stay alive a little longer here.
He's got 6 hit points. You just need a little Reaver,
What?
A Revenant. You just need a little Revenant for 6.
Oh yes, yeah. I just need a Revenant.
Another Ghost Seraphim. God damn it.
And I'm just like, no, I have the answers. And now I have 6 attack, so I just need to gap close again before I die to range. But, oh my god, more walls. Still more walls, but you know what? Whatever.
Hold on a bit. We're going to see the walls coming in a second.
Yeah. But you know what? I get Drew and Earth Sphere. That's all I care about. Vath's a win condition by himself. All you have to do is survive, and Vath will win you a game.
Right. And we see you drawing the pony. You're gonna drop it. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not going to be useful. Like, either I'm dead to Winter's Wake or not, and if not, the pony's not really useful.
Right.
Well, though I guess even Winter's if he'd had a Winter's Wake there, it would have been over. But at this point, I don't even need the Drogon. Drogon's how I end most games, but I don't need Drogon. My Vath is so big. Given, I guess I could get Chromatic Colded again, but even then, most good players will just avoid melee with Vath on principle. But I mean, you sort of have to.
Yeah.
Especially now that I'm that big again. But at this point, I'm not playing Drogon for his effect. I'm just trying to develop a board here.
Yeah, it's a huge threat if
Like 5 attack when he's at 6 health.
yeah.
Nothing to sneer at. And I'm also doing it in such a way that he 40 attack on that.
In such a way that he can't like attack you, get a draw maybe,
Yeah.
get body blocking. Oh my god, 40 attack, yeah. We've just seen it now. There's a little bit of delay when games go long, so we're sorry about that. Its replay is kind of wonky. But we're seeing him now, just turning one of your Drogons into packs, getting rid of the dervishes with Frostburn.
Yeah.
And Chromatic Cold, your Drogon, I bet, because he's he's in range of it.
And yeah, the replay bugged out a little bit there, but the Earth Sphere was from last turn, not the turn I had Mercantor. This turn I was able to just, he's finally low enough. He's in Mercantor lethal range, so I healed him last turn so that I was able to just hit a wall and finally end the game. But that may have been one of the most intense games I've ever played.
Wow,
and I've gone to fatigue before, with Vath mirror matches where we both just sit on the opposite side of the board from each other with 30 attack and no rush minions left in the deck. And we're just like, this is going to be a draw, but neither of us want to give the draw.
Right.
But this game was just something else.
Yeah, it was amazing. Honestly, I really love it. I hope that the replay didn't diminish its value for our viewers, because I really like that game.
It's just, it highlights the deck strength. Like, I'm facing off against one of, if not the tier 1 deck right now, the dreaded Ramp Wall Vanar / Arcanist, and it's Nova too, a very, very skilled player who was even able to play around, Mage Sworn and everything else. But it's just, the deck just, it's got an answer for everything. And
you literally
just power through.
You just top decked answers for like 5 consecutive turns.
At that point, there were very few things in the deck that weren't good top decks.
Right.
Like I'd played all my Cryptographers, I'd played a Kajata, I'd played 2 of my Metallurgists. Pretty much everything else was a good draw.
Right. That's cool.
And, usually games don't go that long because I can close them out pretty quick with Drogon, but even then, like, it's got that high-end curve and Vath, so you don't really need any draw power because you've got a high curve and Vaths to fall back on.
Yeah.
But
yeah, very cool. Does look powerful. Mage Sworn is super annoying. I never know what to do when I fucking see him.
So good.
As vet, I can just blood a variant. So.
Oh, I call that deck Gramps. Grandmaster and Ramp.
Gramps. All right. I guess I can forgive you for that.
Anyways, but that's all I got for now.
Yeah, that's great. So we've seen 2 cool decks. They do look powerful. Oh my god, the Starhorn one looks like
something else.
I kind of wanna put more big minions into it.
I mean, you can do that, but then it's more suited to Vath. Like that one is, the the aggro Apex deck. Like Vath, you can do a different one. Like skip all the low curve and just go for big fatties.
Right.
And Like you can do it, but I think Starhorn's the way to do it because the deck really wants to play Apex soon and consistently, and Starhorn does that better. But you can definitely make it work with Vath and just more fatties.
Yeah, and of course there's the what we discussed, the Blood Tara one, with the 12-12.
Maybe Blood Tower might work in the Vath one. That's an interesting
Yeah,
idea.
it's funny for sure. Okay, so thank you very much, Death's Advocate. This was real good, and I hope you viewers had a good time. So we'll see you, Death Advocate, and we'll see you soon, everyone.
See you next time.
Bye bye. Stay hard.